When he was just a baby, he was abandoned in a dumpster. Years later, his remorseful mother knelt, begging for forgiveness after seeing him on television. "I cannot take care of this child. I never wanted him. He was an accident. I am young and want to enjoy my life. I do not have the skills for this," Nicole said with surprising firmness. Her mother, Elena, responded, "If you decide to take care of him and give him all your love, remember that he is not to blame for your decisions. You must face the consequences now. Every action you take should be considered with him in mind," Elena said with a mixture of severity and love in her voice. "Who do you think you are, girl? This is a life at stake. When you decided to have that child, you didn't think about the consequences. Now, as a woman, when he is born, you will have to take care of him, just as I took care of you." Nicole lowered her gaze, feeling her mother's words resonate deeply within her. The confrontation with reality and the imminent responsibility weighed on her shoulders like never before. Months had passed since that tense conversation between Elena and Nicole. Elena, a woman devoted to her family, had sacrificed everything for them. She worked tirelessly to put food on the table, sweating to ensure her children's well-being. She was undoubtedly a woman of remarkable virtues. One cold morning, as she opened the window of her modest house built from her hard work as a domestic worker, she heard a desperate cry. Upon leaving her room, she searched the house but found no one. She realized the cry came from the street and sensed how the crying intensified. She searched and searched but found nothing. Then her neighbor walked by and said, "Donna Elena, there's a baby here in the trash." Incredulous, Elena responded, "It cannot be. My God." She ran to the direction the neighbor pointed, her heart pounding and her mind trying to reject what her eyes were about to witness. And there was her grandson, Federico, wrapped in dirty cloths, abandoned among the trash. Elena took him in her arms firmly, then turned to her neighbor Matthias and, with a voice full of trembling emotion, exclaimed, "He is my grandson. Where is Nicole?" Matthias, known for always being aware of what was happening in the neighborhood, responded with a look of concern, "Donna Elena, I saw her a few minutes ago with Federico in her arms, accompanied by that boy who lives on the corner. They had 2 suitcases with them." Elena felt as if the ground had vanished beneath her feet. The reality of the situation hit her with full force. Nicole had done exactly what, in a conversation filled with tension and desperation months ago, Elena had feared. Without hesitation, she tried to contact Nicole by phone, but her attempts were in vain. The calls went unanswered, each unanswered tone increasing the anxiety in her heart. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months as Nicole's absence became a constant wound in Elena's heart. However, Federico's presence in her life gave her a new purpose and unexpected joy. Each day, as she looked at Federico, she felt a renewed sense of hope and determination. Helena committed herself to caring for him as if he were her own grandson, promising him love and affection, filling the void left by his mother. This act of kindness, however, would have a lasting impact on both Elena and Federico, transforming their destinies in unexpected ways. Elena divided her time between meticulously caring for Federico and her job as a housemaid for a well-off family. Despite her exhausting routine, her love for Federico motivated her to keep going every day. She brought Federico with her to work, where, fortunately, her employers were compassionate and understanding. They not only grasped her situation, but also generously donated clothes for Federico and helped buy his milk. In addition to the salary Elena received, this support was invaluable, easing some of the heavy burdens she carried. Despite her employer's generosity, life was not easy for Helena. She was a single woman supporting both herself and Federico, but she faced every challenge with unwavering strength, determined to provide a better life for her grandson. Federico, with his innocent smile, was unaware of the hardships his grandmother faced. He did not yet understand how the world worked or the adversities Helena overcame daily to ensure his well-being. In the difficult times that followed, Elena and Federico faced many hard days. The relocation of her employers to another country left Elena without a job, a desperate situation for anyone, but especially for someone responsible for a vulnerable child. In the days that ensued, Elena experienced moments she did not deserve. She sacrificed her own meals to ensure Federico received his milk, while the little boy responded with a pure and sincere smile that she loved so much. It was during these trying times that Abel, Elena's son and Nicole's brother, became a pillar of strength for his mother and nephew. Abel had inherited his mother's kind heart and made an effort to visit them almost daily. Each visit came with a bag of groceries, bringing not only necessities but also a bit of comfort and hope. One day, after hugging his mother and looking at Federico, Abel couldn't contain his emotions. Shaking his head, he exclaimed, "How can it be, my God, that a mother abandons her baby like this? Mom, forgive me for saying this, but to me, Nicole is no longer my sister after all she's done." I couldn't even look her in the face. We thought we had seen everything in this life. I believed I had raised a daughter with values, but apparently I was wrong. "All of this is my fault, Mom," Abel said with a voice full of conviction. "In no way does what she did have anything to do with you. It is entirely her responsibility. You were the best mother you could have been. You raised and loved us as you should have. Dad always said you had a maternal instinct. How we miss him," Elena sighed, a mixture of sadness and nostalgia in her voice. "Your father was a good man, God rest his soul. He wouldn't have been able to bear seeing what Nicole did to Federico." However, Elena could not have imagined that this would be the greatest driving force in Federico's life. Many years later, it would become evident that this difficult period, filled with sacrifices and unwavering love, shaped Federico's character and destiny in ways that neither Elena nor Abel could have foreseen. Years passed, and a well-dressed man arrived at Elena's humble home, a house that had been worn down by time. From the back of the house, he called out loudly to his mother, his voice tinged with difficulty as he walked. Despite being elderly, Elena emerged with the same youthfulness and strength that had always defined her spirit. "Hello, Mom," said the man, to which Elena responded with a look of immense love. "Look at my beloved son. You're doing well?" This man was Federico, who refused to call Elena grandmother. To him, she was his mother, the woman who raised him, loved him, and faced adversities by his side. "Yes, Mom," he smiled, handing her the groceries. "I've bought enough from the market to last you a week. I'm going to travel, and we'll be away for a few days. Tomorrow, I want you to call Channel 5. You'll have a surprise, and when I return, I have another surprise for you." Elena, with a sparkle of curiosity in her eyes, promised, "Of course, I'll watch it, my son. And you didn't need to buy anything." But Federico, with a loving smile, insisted, "Don't you dare say that, my dear old lady. As long as I can, I'll give you the best. And don't forget, when I return, I have a surprise for you." The next day, after tidying up her house and washing the lunch dishes she had prepared for herself and Abel, Elena felt a mix of anxiety and excitement. Abel, sharing the same feeling, joined her on the simple sofa in the living room. Both were eager to see what Federico had planned, curious about the surprise he had mentioned that would be aired on Channel 5. They turned on the television, adjusting it to the channel Federico had indicated. As the clock ticked closer to the exact time, the silence between them was filled with anticipation. The screen lit up, showing the start of a special program. Elena took Abel's hand, a simple gesture that conveyed the support and connection between mother and son. The program began, and the presenter announced, "Today we are here with one of the greatest entrepreneurs the world has ever seen, Federico Hernandez. Let's give him a round of applause." Elena and Abel smiled as they watched the television. When the presenter asked Federico, "How does it feel to be one of the top businessmen in America?" Federico started, "Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to say that I might never have become this person if it weren't for my mother." The presenter asked, "So, what is her name?" As he looked at the camera, tears welled up in his eyes, and Federico began to share his story. Maybe I shouldn't even be here today. When I was a baby, I was abandoned in the trash by my own mother, a cowardly act by someone I never knew. My grandmother, whom I call mother and always will, because a mother is someone who raises you, found me and took me in with great dedication. Everything I am, I owe to her. She taught me everything about life, but don't be mistaken, we faced many difficulties. From when I was a baby, we lived on charity, and my uncle, who was like a father to me, provided love and support. He is someone I will never forget. Despite his own struggles, he helped with what little he earned. I remember vividly. Federico continued, detailing the hardships and sacrifices Elena and Abel made for him. He spoke of the late nights, the moments of hunger, and the relentless support from his family. He shared memories of Abel bringing groceries, the love and warmth he felt in their small home, and the relentless determination of Elena to provide for him against all odds. As the program went on, Elena and Abel watched with tears in their eyes, feeling the weight of Federico's words and the recognition of their sacrifices. When the program concluded, Elena felt a deep sense of pride and fulfillment. Federico's success was a testament to her unwavering love and dedication. She knew that no matter the struggles, they had shaped a remarkable man who valued family above all. And as she awaited Federico's return, she felt a renewed sense of hope and excitement for the future. As my grandmother watched, I would ask her, "Aren't you going to eat, Grandma?" She would reply that she wasn't hungry because she wanted to lose weight, even though she was already quite slender. When I grew older, I realized she skipped meals so that I could eat, making up excuses so I wouldn't feel bad. I grew tired of seeing her do that. I never had toys. I couldn't stop thinking that the baby who had been abandoned in the trash had to prove he wasn't disposable. I became the man of the house prematurely. At the age of 7, I started selling sweets on the street, helping with our expenses. My mom, Elena, made the sweets and I sold them. We managed to survive, but I always wanted more. I promised her that one day I would be rich and give her everything she desired. That day eventually came. I used all the pain and suffering I experienced in life as fuel. I would only stop when I saw my mother happy because only a true mother would do what she did for me. When the presenter said, "Surely you've touched everyone watching," I think something got in my eye. Elena and Abel, with tears in their eyes, watched, deeply moved. They reflected on everything they had gone through, seeing how Federico had become a great man, something no one had imagined possible. 2 days after moving thousands with his life story, Federico arrived at Elena's house with a big surprise for her. However, upon entering, his smile faded when he saw Elena's sad expression and the familiar figure beside her. Nicole, the mother who had abandoned him years ago, was now back. "What's going on, Mom?" Federico asked, not taking his eyes off the woman next to Elena. In a soft voice, Elena replied, "My son, this is your mother, Nicole." The impact of her words hit Federico hard. A whirlwind of emotions flooded him, but he maintained his composure, responding with a bitter smile. "You are my mother, Elena, not this woman I don't even know. How dare you come here after all these years?" Nicole, with tears streaming down her face, tried to explain, "I saw you on television. I cried so much, I couldn't bear it. I needed to see you." She knelt, begging for forgiveness. "Please, forgive me, Federico. It wasn't my fault." Federico remained resolute. "It's too late now, Nicole. To me, you are nothing, nobody." Nicole, through sobs, tried to justify her past actions. "I wasn't in my right mind. I was young." But Elena intervened, her disappointment clear. "To run off with any man, you abandoned us. You left your child in the trash. How could you?" Nicole insisted she wanted to make amends, but Federico was unyielding. "It doesn't matter. To me, you are nothing. And why only now, after seeing me on television? Is it because of your interest?" Elena, well aware of her daughter's tendencies, expressed her doubts. Nicole, attempting to defend herself, claimed she had changed, but Federico ended the conversation. Enough. I don't want to hear more. Please leave our house and go back to wherever you've been all these years. Enjoy your life. Wasn't that what you wanted, Nicole? Nicole, defeated and weeping, stood up and left the house. Elena and Federico, though shaken, knew they had each other. The bond they shared was unbreakable, forged through years of love, sacrifice, and unwavering support. Defeated and still crying, Nicole left the house without looking back. Federico turned to Elena, his eyes full of depth and sincerity, and took her hands. Mom, you will always be my mother, and no one will ever change that. I knew this day would come, but I was prepared. That woman should never have come here. You are my mother. A mother is someone who raises, educates, loves, and cares, and only we know what we have gone through every single day, the struggles we faced. Let's forget all this. She will have to live her whole life with the pain and suffering she caused us. She didn't think about that when she left me on that cold day in the trash. What kind of mother does that? Federico's words touched Elena deeply. With tears in her eyes, she hugged him tightly. The strong emotions of that moment moved them both. In that embrace, there was not only the pain and resilience from years of struggles and overcoming hardships, but also an unconditional and pure love that nothing and no one could ever disturb. Enough crying, enough of the past, shouted Uncle Abel, joining them quickly. Tell me, my son, said Abel, approaching Federico. Then Federico revealed, we have suffered so much in life, and you both did everything for me. Now it's time to do something for you. He took out his phone and showed them a mansion on the beach, a stunning house that anyone would dream of. Helena and Abel were amazed. What a beautiful house, they murmured. Do you like it? Asked Federico, to which they responded affirmatively. Then he announced, this house is now yours. That was the surprise. The two stood in disbelief. Are you joking? They asked. Federico replied, this is the least I can do for you, who did everything for me. Helena and Abel, overcome with emotion, started to cry. I always knew you would become a great man, they expressed. Federico hugged Abel and Elena together and said, this is just the beginning. All expenses are on me. I want you to rest and enjoy every minute of the life that I somehow took from you. You deserve it. Turning to Abel, he continued, thank you, Uncle Abel, for being my father all these years and taking care of me as your own son. Now you won't need to pay rent anymore or worry about anything. And to Elena, with all the love a son could offer, Federico said, and you, Mom, I want you to never forget that you are my mother, and I will always love you until the last second of my life. I love you, Mom. Elena, with tears of joy, replied, thank you, my son. To the audience watching their story, Federico concluded, thank you for watching our stories. Please like and subscribe to our channel to support our work. If you want to see more stories, the ones above will surely move you.